I grew up as a white man, and you're the exact opposite, you know? And so it's like my experiences are going to be different from yours.
How come?
I think, you know, there's a thing of like white privilege.
What privileges do you have that I don't have?
Oh, see, that's the question I keep asking myself, because like in this day and age, like all the laws, I say all the laws, you know, it's hard to speak on something I'm not fully knowledgeable of. So like, I'm sorry if I like make a mistake in saying this, but it's
Don't you think it's a problem in society when white people think that they have more privileges than brown or black people?
I'll bring it back, but right there, halfway through his first sentence, he destroyed his own argument. That's what happens every time one of these leftists starts to think, starts to dive into that brain box and try to bring out a coherent, logical sentence. They're programmed. They're afraid of getting canceled. They have no courage. They have no backbone in the stances that are being pushed on media headlines. They're just regurgitating what they're told to say because they're afraid of getting bashed and belittled and standing up for real values, standing up for truth. You grew up a white man, you're still a white man, and that's completely okay. If you grew up a black man, a black woman, an Indian woman, it doesn't matter what you came out as, it is okay to be yourself. God created you in his image. We are all one race, the human race. Love each other. Stop talking about all this fake, faulty privilege right here. Shout out to Savannah Hernandez, the lady conducting this interview. Always on point. And shout out to Turning Point USA as well. But this ain't nothing new under the sun right here. This is what we've come to expect from these watered down liberal students or young men that we see that aren't really standing bold like men are supposed to.
It's hard to speak on something I'm not fully knowledgeable of. So like, I'm sorry if I like make a mistake in saying this, but it's
Don't you think it's a problem in society when white people think that they have more privileges than brown or black people?
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the agenda that's pushed off, because personally, it's like, not that I think I'm more privileged than anyone else, because I had to work to get where I was, and that's like
So why do you have that mentality immediately where you know, kind of apologize to me, like, let's talk about privilege, let's talk about I'm a white man in America, so we could have grown up differently.
Got you.
Why is that your first initial reaction to me as a brown woman?
Wow, you're getting me good. See, these are the kind of conversations that I love having. And I think it comes from a place of like, I wouldn't say caution, but like in this day and age, people are so quick to judge and react and cancel. And so I guess it's that like caution to go into an interview like this. I'm like, I don't know where we're at, but now I know where we're at, and I can like go for real.
Do you have white privilege?
I believe everybody at Georgetown definitely does that is white.
100%. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think the fact that I don't need to think about my race, just going about my daily life, is a sign of white privilege.
If we're white, subliminally, we have privilege over other minorities.
Yes.
Being called a racist no longer makes me uncomfortable. It just doesn't, because I've accepted the fact that I am racist. I was born and raised in the South. I'm a white woman, and I have a lot of unlearning to do. My racism is not, it's not a character defect. It's not a moral failing. It's just the result of a lifetime of indoctrination in a very racist country. Now, it's a character defect and a moral failing if I don't choose to do anything about it, but I am choosing to do something about it. Somebody asked me about white privilege in my direct messages. I want to answer it. I hate talking about race, though, just because it just, I just would rather leave that to someone else. However, based on this direct message, I do think that this is a person who is probably not going to listen to a black person, and a black person is not going to have patience for this person. So I will do that. I'm going to talk about my lived experience. I'm not comparing being a woman to being Black, Indigenous, or a person of color. This is just, again, my lived experience. I graduated from college something like 20-something years ago and went into a field that is dominated by white men. If you live in the South, you know how it is, the good old boy network and the lunches and the golf course. This is that I'm a white woman. And so a lot of these men, I'm going to remind them of their wife or their daughter. So if they need some diversity on that white male team, they're probably going to hire me because I make them comfortable. Doesn't mean I'm not qualified for the job. Doesn't mean I didn't work hard. Just means I've got a little bit of an advantage. But these little advantages or disadvantages can change the entire trajectory of a person's life. My name is Lindsay. No one has ever thrown my resume in the trash because my name sounds too black or too ethnic. As a 45-year-old white woman, I can shop anywhere I want. Nobody's going to follow me around worrying that I'm going to steal something. I can walk around in any neighborhood and no one's going to call the police on me because I look suspicious. I've never seen someone in a parking lot or the grocery store like grab their purse and hold on to it real tight when they see me because they think I'm going to steal it. And as a white woman, I don't have to worry about my kids being pulled over for driving while being black. I actually rode in an Uber last week with a guy who told me he has been pulled over 10 times, 0 times for no reason other than being black and driving an Escalade.
Oh, sure,
this is
that's
white privilege.
why.
Doesn't mean I have a good life, doesn't mean I have an easy life, just means I have fewer obstacles, just means that I'm able to exist without being terrorized by law enforcement.
Oh, terrorized by law enforcement. Oh man, black people got it so bad. They just cooperate at every single routine traffic stop. Anytime an officer asks for their ID, and I'm talking about it's not just black people, white people. If you would just cooperate with the police, there'd be no terrorization. You're not terrorizing the police. That also is a life, that also has a family. When you put them in harm's way, when you reach in your glove compartment, they don't know what your intentions are. They don't know what your heart represents. The heart of man is known to be wicked and confused and twisted. What do you expect an officer to do when they pull you over and you don't just simply abide by the law? My goodness, this is the world that we're living in. All this race baiting, all this talking about it. Morgan Freeman said, you want to stop racism? Stop talking about it. Leave it alone. We don't live in the Jim Crow South anymore. Democrats aren't doing the KKK thing like they, founded, that a lot of people get it twisted and think it's conservatives and Republicans. No. That was in the Democrat Party, on the left side, the people that you vote for, black folks. What is going on? Wake up. You're not an Uncle Tom if you're a black man or a black woman that supports hard work, conservative values, capitalism, and goes out there and earns a living. You have the same opportunity from the sunrise to sunset to work harder than the next man or woman, no matter what pigmentation, amount of melanin that's in your skin. It is irrelevant in 2023. Y'all see the athletes, top tier paid, way more money than I'll probably ever earn. Billions and $billion contracts. Black president, black vice president, partially, whatever. Every single role in society can be attained, and it doesn't matter what color skin tone you got. Stop watering down this world that we're living in. Stop watering down moral ethics and values and discipline and hard work. No. Nobody owes anybody anything based on anything. We all came from the same ancestry, the same family tree. Adam and Eve, created by God Almighty in his image. He said, let there be light. We're supposed to govern the fish of the sea and the land. And y'all are worried about the wrong stuff. Y'all haven't repented for any of your sin. Y'all are out here walking like you're perfect, like your Jesus Christ can walk on water. No, you cannot. We all have sin. We all have a past. It all needs to be accounted for, repented of, and turned to Christ for forgiveness, to be born again as a Christian. Period. Parents need to discipline their kids. They need to provide them with the right structure, the set of values and moral decency to where they can go out and know how to work hard and know that nobody is going to hold them from getting a certain role or position other than if they're not qualified, if they haven't put in the work, if they don't have the standards and the value to provide to that company, not because how they look. I don't care if your name is Laquanda. I don't care if your name is Amalamaleka Shama Lama Boom Boom. It don't matter what your name is. If you provide the best value for the job, if you're the best person for the job, you're going to get it. That's the America that we live in today. I can't speak for other countries, but European, African, Mexican, Chinese, Indian, it don't matter what ethnicity you were born. We all became privileged the moment we came out of the birth canal as American citizens. If you were born in America, that's a fact. And you don't want to live that communism lifestyle. And I sure as heck don't either. I promise you, I don't want to live in China. I don't want to live anywhere else, because if we lived anywhere else in the world, we might actually have some legitimate reasons to complain and actually talk about privilege then. But you live here and you want to whine and cry and complain and say you got it bad and you're oppressed and you're a victim and do all this woke virtue signaling, fake oppression nonsense. No. The home of the free because of the brave, because all of the men and women of multiple different ethnic backgrounds have fought and died for these rights. So absolutely not. I will never tolerate, and nobody should ever buy into this faulty way of thinking. Shut that spoiled, fake victim, virtue signal wannabe all the way up. It's straight up bull crap. But I got to dish out some biblical soul food. You guys that are first time viewers, this is how I roll. This is my channel. I base my life on the foundation, the rock of God's word, the Bible, and you should as well, because it has all the answers to life's problems and everything you deem is oppression. All the answers are in here. How you're supposed to live in the solution, the way out, the understanding you should be leaning on instead of yourself is on the Lord. So Psalm 1 verses 1 through 6 says, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaves do not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish." You better get right with the Lord, because if you ain't right about Jesus, then you ain't right about anything. But that's all I got for today. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a video. And, feel free to share this video as always. The algorithm is always working against Christian values. So definitely get this out in front of the public so they can see what real truth looks like, not just this perceived fake of this world truth. But outside of that, if you want to support the channel, you like what I'm doing over here, you can always get awesome designs like this, Isaiah 41:10, made by my lovely wife over on her Etsy store. She also has insulated tumblers like this Soldiers of America one right here, many other Christian American designs, petite, small designs to big and hefty 5Xs. We got everything you would like over there, linked in the description section down below. Big thank you to my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee members. Y'all know I love you. You putting your hard-earned money behind me, I am forever grateful. I can't even put it into words how much you guys mean to me and just allowing me to monetarily support my family when YouTube made demonetized videos or whatever it may be. But if YouTube takes us down, I'll be over on Rumble, so make sure you're following me over there as well. But until next time, I love you. Godspeed. I'm gone.